Most kings fear the storm, but in ancient Oyo, the king was the storm itself. This is the story of Sango, a ruler whose voice could crack the earth. He sat upon a throne of iron and blood, ruling the greatest empire in Africa. Oyo was a city of red clay and gold, a fortress of ancient power. But Sango was not a man of peace, he was a man of fire. His anger was legendary, a heat that could wither the crops in the fields. The elders of the Oyo Mesi watched him with growing silent concern. They knew that a king who cannot rule himself cannot rule a nation. Sango ignored their whispers, for his eyes were fixed on the heavens above. He became obsessed with the Oshe, the double-headed axe that channeled the sky. He spent his nights in the dark forges, breathing in the soot and smoke. He sought a secret flame, a fire that never went out, even in rain. He consulted with the herbalists and the keepers of the ancient forbidden scrolls. They warned him that the sky has eyes and the clouds have memories. But Sango was a king, and a king does not ask for permission. He climbed the highest peak of Okeado, challenging the very spirit of the air. He roared his name into the void, demanding the power of the ancestors. The first strike of lightning didn't hit him, it danced around his feet. It was a warning, a raw energy he was trying to steal. Sango laughed at the warning, grabbing the lightning with his bare, calloused hands. In that moment, his blood began to hum with the frequency of the stars. He returned to the city with eyes that glowed like dying embers. He wanted to show his people that their king was now a god. He gathered the court at the royal palace beneath a sky of bruised purple. With a single gesture, he called the white fire down to the earth. The sound was not a crack, it was the world tearing in half. The strike was too powerful, a tidal wave of electricity he couldn't aim. It slammed into the royal quarters where his family slept in peace. In the blink of an eye, the palace of Oyo became a funeral pyre. Sango stood in the center of the flame, untouched but utterly destroyed. The screams of his wives and children were drowned out by the thunder. When the sun rose, only the black skeletons of the clay walls remained. The king was now a ghost in his own kingdom, a bringer of death. The Oyo Mesi delivered their verdict. The king must leave or die. Sango did not fight them. He had no strength left to hold a sword. He walked through the city gates as his subjects threw stones at his back. He retreated into the deep, dark forests where the spirits of the lost reside. The rain fell for 40 days as if the world was washing away his sin. He sat beneath the Iroko tree, staring at the hands that had burned his life. He was no longer a king, he was a man waiting for the end. But the lightning he had stolen would not let him die so easily. It pulsed in his veins, keeping his heart beating against his own will. He began to realize that his suffering was the final ingredient of the forge. To become a god, the man must be completely burned away. He climbed the final hill in the land of Koso, his body thin as a reed. He looked back at Oyo one last time, a city he could never return to. He raised his broken axe to the sky and invited the storm to take him. 100 bolts of lightning struck the peak at once, a pillar of pure light. His skin turned to bronze, his breath turned to wind, his soul became thunder. The man named Sango died on that hill, but the Orisha was born. He ascended into the clouds, taking his seat on a throne of storm. He became the judge of the heavens, the punisher of the wicked. Back in Oyo, the people heard a roar that sounded like a king's forgiveness. They built shrines to the god who did not hang but lived forever. They learned that power is a gift, but discipline is the shield that guards it. Sango remains in the sky, watching over the descendants of the great empire. He is the flash that reveals the truth in the middle of the night. He is the rumble that reminds us that the earth is only a guest of the sky. So when the clouds turn black and the air begins to hum, remember the king. Bow your head for the god of thunder. The king lives forever in the fire.